time to do my Wonder Woman review. I have to change into a geeky t-shirt. Yep, I think I'm gonna keep my Battlestar Galactica t-shirt because I just had a Battlestar Galactica marathon. I was late with all the episodes. I had to bring myself up to date, and yeah, Battlestar Galactica, you know, pretty depressing stuff, but I'm sure that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So there's that. Death to all the Cylons. So Warner Animation put out a new animated movie about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is probably my third favorite comic book character. I think she's a wonderful character, a great icon, and she's also very tough to get, and very, very tough to get right. As for this new Wonder Woman animated movie, I think it is a good animated movie, very good in fact, probably better than Superman Doomsday, and maybe just a tad under DC New Frontier. But as a Wonder Woman story, I have a few problems with it. As an animated movie, I think it has great animation, probably the next step in the evolution of traditional Warner Brothers animation, superhero animation like Justice League and Superman and Batman the Animated Series. The bodies look more real, the movement is more fluid, the fight scenes are very well choreographed. If there's one thing that this movie got right, is that Amazons are really badass warriors, and the scenes in which they do combat are really, really good and kind of exciting. The story is also pretty okay for an animated movie. It is well conceived, it is pretty easy to follow, it's a classical good versus evil story. The bad guy in the movie is Ares. It's an origin story for Wonder Woman, and it has a lot of Wonder Woman references. There's the invisible jet, there's the whole idea that Wonder Woman has been conceived of clay, and so she's kind of pure, she has no original sin hanging over her, if you want to get biblical about it. Also, the movie has a great cast. You have Keri Russell as Wonder Woman, Nathan Fillion as Steve Trevor, Oliver Platt as Hades. Hades does show up in the movie, but I don't understand why he looks the way he does, because he kind of reminds you more of the god of wine Dionysus than the god of the underworld. Rosario Dawson shows up as voices the character of Artemis, another pretty good secondary character, I think. What I really liked were the dialogues, especially the quips between Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. They are pretty funny, but I think it's also, it has a lot to do with the delivery, because Nathan Fillion delivers the best one-liners in the movie. It's not all good. There are a couple of plot holes. I have some issues with a couple of plot threads that are left wide open. Some things I think could have been explained a bit better than they were. As a Wonder Woman story, like I said, Wonder Woman is very hard to get right. My personal favorite version of the character outside of the comic books, not to downplay in any way Linda Carter's contribution to the mythology of the character, but I really liked Wonder Woman as she was played out in Justice League, the animated series. She was portrayed as a warrior, but also as a very noble warrior. And I think this particular version of Wonder Woman from this animated feature kind of suffers on the noble part. Because on the one hand, she does feminist rhetoric, but on the other, there are certain things she says that kind of go against what she's supposed to represent. Also, I think that although Keri Russell can have a pretty regal voice, she's not as good at rendering emotion, because when you see Nathan Fillion, when you hear Nathan Fillion and Keri Russell have a scene, you can definitely tell that Nathan Fillion has a lot more experience with voicing animated characters, because he changes his voice to match the mood of the character. You can definitely see the difference of talent, voicing talent, when it comes to Nathan Fillion and Keri Russell. Wonder Woman is a feminist icon, and there is no way you can escape that, and you have to represent that side of her personality. But again, I don't think they picked the best ways to represent that in this movie. The situations they put her in to kind of tutor the women of the modern world are kind of cheesy and corny. I think they handled it very well in the Justice League, the animated series, they have Wonder Woman in a couple of situations where she got to interact with women, but it never really felt very overbearing or over the top. But this is by no means the crew of the character. Like I said, in this movie, Wonder Woman is first and foremost a warrior, and she is very badass. She kicks a lot of ass in the movie, and I think that nobody's going to be disappointed by the action scenes. So once again, I think Wonder Woman is a better movie than Superman Doomsday, a tad under DC New Frontier, because I think that the message it wanted to deliver, it didn't get through to me very well, and I'm pretty open to feminist messages, duh. Because of the level of talent that went into making this movie, I'm really looking forward to a sequel.